Yeah, good intro. We're listening to Paramore, and wait, part of my dream last night, for some reason the band Paramore was called Pearl.
Pearl?
Yeah.
Huh.
And they used to been called Paramore.
Okay.
I had a weird dream last night. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Okay.
It's all Gucci. I've been waiting for a miracle, and I'm not leaving. Okie doke.
Yeah. What's up? It's Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
And yeah, this is our show. We're going to talk about some stuff.
Yes.
Listen to some music as we normally do. I'm just setting up some stuff. So, How to Train Your Dragon, I don't know about this week, but for 2 weeks in a row was the #1 movie in America. We saw it on opening weekend, yes?
Yes, it was
and we really enjoyed it.
The third one, not
the third one.
The first one.
We're The Hidden World.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to post a that I drew of it last night, and for some reason it wasn't letting me. But yes, I finished my picture that I started drawing about 2 weeks ago.
Cool. We enjoyed it. We thought it was good.
Yeah.
We thought,
I really liked it.
We really liked it. We thought it was a fun story. We thought it was... we enjoyed the animation. Grandpa enjoyed the animation. We saw it with Grandpa, who was in town. Normally when he comes, we do a show with him. He didn't this time. I think it was just a little bit more sort of family. We just kind of kept it quiet. We went to the Fry. We saw some good exhibits there. Yeah. We went to...
Giant Fabric Vagina. And now this is
Giant Fabric Vagina. Yeah.
Now the video's restricted. Sorry about that.
No, it's art. It's you got your braces on.
Yeah, that's why I keep smiling weirdly at the camera.
That's a pretty big, that's probably the biggest thing. That was just yesterday.
Yes.
That didn't take as long as we thought it was going to.
I look like a bunny.
I'm not seeing it, but you're...
It's like I have buck teeth.
Right
it's
on.
just because my gums haven't... They're not in good condition.
We also went to the Seattle Art Museum. There was actually not a special exhibit going on, so we just looked at the regular collection, walked around for a little bit. We watched Scott Pilgrim, which Grandpa had not seen before.
Yeah.
I don't know. We love that movie. We still love that movie.
I remember I saw it at... Well, this wasn't even the first time I saw it.
Right.
I had seen it with you, and I saw it at School of Rock during a Valentine's Day party when I was like 12.
Yes, and a lot of the people, including people who were older than you, had not seen it, but you had seen it. So you were the cool kid who knew all the words and whatnot. Because we've watched that movie many, many times at Town Hall, which is, I think, soon to be renovated and reopened. We saw Brian Lee O'Malley with Taco Cat speak. I'm going to play Taco Cat right now.
Yes.
Just because. Taco Cat is going on tour. Also in our more personal news, we are going to see Cats at the end of this month. And June 8th at the Showbox, we are going to see Taco Cat.
Ooh, nice.
I swear it's like their only Seattle appearance in 2019. They're going to be on tour for much of the year. But yeah, excited about that. Tickets are still available for both of those things as far as I know. Yeah. Next weekend, Comic-Con. Sunday is sold out, but I do believe other days tickets are still available.
So expensive though.
Yes. Comic-Con's a little bit pricey.
Especially when it's the day of basically.
Right. No, that's true. Grandpa and I argued about Bernie Sanders for a little bit. I'm not a big Bernie Sanders fan, and I never have been. We both kind of agree the Democratic field is wide. As far as presidential is wide. A lot of people are saying, I want to run for president.
Well, people are realizing that, hey, I could be better than this guy.
Yes, the problem being, though, this is what happened in the Republican Party last year. There were like 11 or 16 candidates to begin with. Donald Trump just sort of bullied and made up nicknames for all of them, and somehow he rose to the top. I don't think having a lot of candidates necessarily helps the best person rise to the top. No. Nonetheless, this is a democracy, so I don't want to say people don't have a right to run or shouldn't run so that other people can run or can't run because they are of a certain demographic. I think if you have great ideas and if you are genuinely there for people and if you're willing to work hard, go ahead and run. That being said, I'm nervous about that already.
Personally, I'm a Bernie Sanders.
Personally, you are a Bernie Sanders supporter. Okay.
And I think while he is
that's not my concern.
No.
Right.
I know.
Okay. Whatever you say has to be explained on air. It can't be a continuation of a conversation that wasn't part of this conversation.
I'm about to explain it.
Okay.
Okay. Earlier you had said you feel like. I feel like you said you appealed more to like white people.
I didn't say anything about white people whatsoever. I used the word demographic. I said you should be allowed to run regardless of your demographic.
No. I mean earlier when we were having the conversation over.
Okay. You're going to need much more context for the audience. Why don't you explain all of it? Because I don't even know what you're talking about, and I was in the conversation.
Okay. We were walking back from Hard Rock
with Grandpa. Yes.
And we were talking about Bernie Sanders.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't remember, but I feel like you said something about how like he doesn't actually he doesn't understand like.
I rarely ever use the word minority.
Okay,
I know. But it feels like you want to put words in my mouth so that you can attack them, and I don't even feel like whatever it is you think I said, and you can't remember. So
okay, well.
No, definitely get a pencil. No, what I said was he was asked directly, and I'm going to play Jellicle Cats from Cats. He was asked directly how he felt running against women and women of color and if that was an issue for him. And he said what is true, what I basically just said, which is you should be able to run regardless of any demographic. But he also couched it in the, and you know I've talked about this many, many times, because it should be, merits that count. It should be, we're all equal. It doesn't, which is not true, which is not a realistic or reasonable, I think, understanding. What?
People, that should be the way it is, but that's not the way it is.
That's not the way it is, and saying that we should treat people the way it is doesn't acknowledge the realities or doesn't understand the realities of the experience for people who are not like yourself, which, if you happen to be a white male, is a dangerous position. You should be making sure that you're considering people outside of yourself.
Yes.
That's what I had to say about Bernie Sanders. Is that what you're talking about?
No, you said something else.
Oh, okay. It still doesn't feel like, it feels like whatever you think I said, I probably didn't say, because I don't. Yeah.
Okay, we're like right outside Quest Market, passing that way, if that helps. No.
Payless, of course, going out of business, closing 2,000 stores.
Yikes, I didn't know they had that many.
Right.
Why are they going out of business? Bankruptcy?
Because in the last couple of years they've raised their prices, but they didn't necessarily raise their quality or, people, I don't know if they ever really publicized, for instance, their association with Christian Siriano. I think most people just associated them with low quality, no name brand products. They tried harder to get more name brand products in, like Champion and Airwalk, but Airwalk being basically just a Vans ripoff. But I don't think, and I think the internet, I think the same reason that all retail businesses are going out of business, because shoes used to be something that people not only needed to buy in person, they needed to buy at a specialty store with specialty trained people who had specialty devices that helped you find. Now people know their shoe size. They trust that even if they get the shoe size wrong, they can return them, because shoe companies especially have good return policies to make sure that because they want you to buy them over the internet. Yeah, I think all those same reasons that retail is struggling in general.
Yeah.
Old Navy is spinning off from Gap to be its own company.
Oh shit! Okay, I was not aware of that. My mom told me that the Gap brand was focusing less on Gap, the store, and more on Old Navy.
Well, the Old Navy has been responsible for a larger and larger percentage of their profits. Banana Republic and Gap have been stagnant in sales. So what I think, I think what is happening is the people, especially, actually I don't want to speculate, but yeah, basically Gap is going to focus more on Gap, and they're spinning off Old Navy to be their own thing.
Okay.
What that does for the stock market, for the stock, we'll see. Sears has declared bankruptcy again or something again. I have some stock in Sears and it keeps going up and down in value, but yeah.
Out of all the things you got stock in, it's in Sears?
Yes.
I consider them like staples.
Staples the company?
Yes.
In what sense?
I mean, only businesses use them.
Wait, only businesses use Sears?
Yeah.
For what?
Like vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I just personally think, I don't feel like people, we don't even have Sears anymore.
Right. That's the true thing. I think... Yes. Okay. So Sears has always tried to be a clothes retailer and a general purpose. Sears used to be a general purpose retailer. People would go to Sears to buy anything.
Yes.
In the last half of the last century, they became much more about appliances and house goods and things like that. Sears Auto was a big part of it. People do not look for fashionable clothes at Sears, but Sears spends a lot of money on their fashion, their cosmetics, they want to be that and be in that space, but they're not successful. So yeah. Craftsman, that whole aspect of Sears, Craftsman, they sold to Black & Decker. Craftsman is their name of their tool line, which independently of Sears has been successful and continue to be successful. People think Craftsman tools are fairly high quality. They sold the name to Black & Decker, but then licensed the name back for some products, but then started advertising themselves as the home of the real Craftsman. So when Black & Decker's like, what did we even fucking pay for? So they're suing them on that.
That makes sense.
But so yes, I don't know about business versus consumer, but I think they are more associated with house goods and appliances than sort of fashionable, what they would like to be associated with.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone has ever I have never heard anybody be like, we're going to Sears. Maybe it's just because
probably not in your
Sears.
Lifetime. No, probably not in your lifetime.
I've never seen a Sears. I've never been inside a Sears. Never heard of anyone who has.
They used to be mall anchors, but they're not so much anymore.
Yeah.
Kylie Jenner is now officially the world's youngest billionaire at 21 years old.
Yeah.
People are still going back and forth as to whether or not she is a self-made millionaire or what it means for someone who was raised in a rich dynasty family, literally on reality television, to call themselves self-made. But whatever, she thought of putting 3 lipsticks in a box, calling it a kit, and I'm sorry, like whatever people are like, she's not an entrepreneur, I'm like, I don't know, you didn't do it and you're not the billionaire. You know, I didn't do it and I'm not the billionaire. So I have to give credit where credit is due. I do think she is an entrepreneur. But I think she had significant help getting there. I don't think she did it all on her own.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande is now teaming up with Starbucks. We talked about this for the Cloud Macchiato. It comes in caramel and cinnamon. The foam is made with an egg white powder, which gives it a meringue-like fluffy texture similar to meringue milk, a drink popular in Spain. Which I think is ironic because Starbucks generally makes, most espresso drinks associated with Italy. Ariana Grande has made a big deal of being like, I'm Italian, not Latino. So I think it's interesting that the drink she chose happens to be of Spanish derivation. Nonetheless, people are going crazy for this Cloud Macchiato.
Ariana Grande is Italian?
Yes.
I thought she was just white. Well...
Right. The last name Grande, people have always associated with Starbucks anyway, like usually often haters making jokes, so I think that's also, but she's not one to back down from haters. Separate from Ariana Grande, Pete Davidson has been cozying up to actress Kate Beckinsale. Do you know who she is?
No.
She's awesome. She's a little bit older. She's like my age. She's a little bit older than him, but people have been saying they've been spotted at basketball games and stuff. And Ariana Grande even someone asked her about it, and she said, "That's cute. They're cute." She's been spotted with her ex, Big Sean.
God.
I'm sorry. And Pete Davidson, of course, having recently covered up his Ariana Grande tattoos, still has a Big Sean tattoo because he got the tattoo "Swerve Life" like way back long before from the Big Sean song. So. But that's when he's never covered up. Even when he was dating her, he didn't have a problem having her ex-boyfriends. Yeah. Ariana Grande did catch some flack, and this, I promise, is the last of the Ariana Grande stories. Ariana Grande, and we are listening to Dua Lipa, by the way, not Ariana Grande.
Yes.
Just to make that clear. Actually, I'm lying. I have 2 Ariana Grande stories. It's been a while. We don't do this show quite as weekly as we normally do. She was spotted with Piers Morgan. He is a guy who, he's a British conservative, some people say white supremacist, but that style of commentator on television. He criticized her after the Manchester bombings and said she was just, so like any sympathy she gave or anything she said, because she basically like canceled her tour and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And he was like, why is she claiming to have PSD? She's not the victim, blah, blah, blah. And he also said she should play a benefit concert, which she ended up doing, which he ended up taking credit for. I told her she should do that. In any event, she was recently spotted at a restaurant in LA with him. They didn't arrive together, but they ran into each other and spoke for a few hours. And then people were giving her flack about it, and she basically posted an interesting story that said, well, no, we didn't end up leaving the best of friends. We ended up arguing for a couple of hours, and I hope I made some differences. I'm glad that he was respectful, even if I didn't agree with his perspective. It's nice to be able to talk about these things, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And so I agree with that. She has been criticized because she is headlining the Manchester Pride celebration this year.
Oh my God. Okay, everybody needs to. No.
What's your take on that? Go for it.
Why is everybody saying she's the best LGBT? Did she like win something for something? Like,
she might have won a Spirit Award.
I think she won an award specifically for having to do with like LGBTQ songs, and everybody.
That's what a Spirit Award is.
Okay, then probably that. And everybody was like, "Yo, what the heck?"
Yes, I think it's always important to ask the question when allies are getting attention for their association, but people in a community are not getting that attention, to call that out in question. That being said, allies can't help the fact that they are calling attention to something and then the attention gets on them. If their goal is to call attention to something, other people have headlined Pride events too. Cher, obviously. There are definitely straight icons who are gay, straight allies who are gay icons, who are a part of the community. Yeah, I don't know. Though I guess the more practical argument is that right after she was announced as the headliner, ticket prices went up. Yeah. And she was like, I don't set the ticket prices, but still, that's annoying. In other sort of, I don't know what category of news to put this in. Activists being activists, people are saying that Will Smith is not black enough to play Venus and Serena Williams' father in the new biopic about them. He's black. He's a black guy. Like, I understand when people said The Rock wasn't black enough to play John Henry. The Rock is mixed. But Will Smith is black. Like, they're literally talking colorism. Like, his skin isn't dark enough, regardless of whether he is a black man or not.
Oh my
his
God.
skin is not dark enough. So I don't know about that.
Yes, because this helps.
Right, because that helps. People are freaking out because Captain Marvel is coming out this weekend. It is doing well, probably unseating How to Train Your Dragon to be top movie. But of course the trolls, much like Ghostbusters, because it is a female-fronted film starring a female who is outspoken about how proud she is to be in a female movie with a female director, blah, blah, blah. People are coming out after it like Ghostbusters. So Rotten Tomatoes actually, for the first time and now permanently, have disabled comments on films that have not been released yet, which was reasonable enough because they said they're not productive. People who haven't seen the movie can't possibly have productive comments on the movie.
Yeah.
But of course, the trolls who want to comment on the movie without seeing it are calling that censorship. And insisting they're not trolls even though they are part of organized brigades and they're all commenting the same thing. And it's clear they haven't seen the movie. But whatever. We're not trolls.
Does your uncle work for Marvel? I don't think so. Get out.
Yeah. Social Distortion is also coming March 21st, 22nd.
Oh, nice.
I think the 21st is an all ages show, 22nd is the 21 and over show. We're not going to see them, but that's wah wah. You want to go see them? I don't know if they're still tickets, but that's pretty. Yeah. We talked about Blue Sea shutting down.
Oh yeah, they're fucking dead.
What?
Oh yeah, they're fucking dead.
Oh yeah, no, and all of them. All the
rip.
Yeah.
I found glue.
You found glue?
In my teeth.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Earlier, I did a tribute to Luke Perry from Beverly Hills 90210. He was also the dad on Riverdale. He was he died. Yeah.
Yeah. The splash text on my Minecraft said 90210 the other day. I don't know if that had to do with Luke Perry.
Probably.
It was a later It was like an earlier update though, so I'm not sure if they could have.
It could have just been a coincidence.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Idea.
He also, do you remember Jeremiah, the post-apocalyptic show with Malcolm? Yeah, he was also Jeremiah.
He was
Yeah. And then again, I'm just, because he was young and he died of a stroke, I'm just sort of going through the symptoms of the stroke to look for. The acronym is FAST, so you're looking for facial drooping, especially if one side of your face is drooping or the other. Arm, if one of your arms is numb, tingling, weakness, you can't grip. Slurred speech, if your speech is slurred or if you're talking to someone and their speech is slurred, then T means time to call 911. If you have, especially those three combinations, someone's just slurring their speech, they might be drunk. But if one side of their face is drooping, and their arm is drooping, and their slurred speech, it's possible they're not just drunk, it's possible they're having a stroke.
Maybe they're stroke and having drunk.
It's possible that you can have a stroke while you're drunk, so keep that in mind too. We were talking about breakdancing just the other day. Breakdancing, if France gets its way, breakdancing may be in the 2024 Olympics.
Oh my gosh, yes.
It is already a part of the Youth Olympics, which is something I guess I vaguely was aware of existed, but don't really think about. Joining squash, billiards, chess, and other things that people don't snowboarding, people don't necessarily think of, but that are now part of the Olympics.
People didn't think snowboarding should be in the Olympics?
That was a huge controversy. People didn't even think snowboarders belonged at ski resorts. For the first, for the 70s, 80s, into the 90s, skiers fought snowboarders and wanted to make them go have their own, it's such a huge different thing.
Oh my God, who cares?
It was associated in the same way that skateboarding, when you see all the signage and the attitude toward skateboarding, it has less to do with a board on wheels than it has to do with the type of people who have traditionally enjoyed skateboarding.
Yes. That's
what it is about snowboarders. It's not that there's anything wrong with snow. I'm sorry, I'm just, We've had snow into March. We had snow last week. And,
that was just why.
And Seattle's not a snow place, but yes. The viaduct is actually being torn down. I don't know where they are at that.
I had a dream about that.
The viaduct?
Yeah.
What did you dream?
This is a few days ago. I dreamt it was like sort of an apartment complex, but also it had that green space that exists.
Yes. Oh, yes. And you we lived or you lived down there?
No. We still lived in the same place. I just dreamed that it existed.
I see.
Everything was normal, except it was like a few years in the future, I guess.
Right on. Was it worth it? Was it worth the...
I don't know. That wasn't what the dream was about.
Yes. But it is almost spring. I think the end of March will be...
Today was spring forward.
Uh-huh. Today, yes, thank you. Today was spring forward. Set your clocks forward an hour. Washington may be, it's almost actually it's certain. I'm pretty sure they have the votes to leaving daylight savings time. We will just stay 1 year, we'll stay one time all year round. The question is, are we going to stay on daylight savings time or standard time? Which means the question is really, do we want our daylight at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day in the winter time? That's my feeling too. That means you want to stay on standard time, I think. But yes, for people who want daylight savings time, meaning they want the daylight earlier, but if you want standard time, that is acknowledging that for some days in January, it may not get daylight until 9 o'clock. Is that okay?
Good with that.
You're good with that as long as you have the daylight at the end of the day. Yes?
Sure.
That's my position too. I agree. United Airlines and American, probably with the other airlines following suit because that's how they tend to do, are now offering options for passengers to self-declare as non-binary. You don't just have to check male or female when you
Nice.
Yes. Baby steps, people. Baby steps. I mentioned Taco Cat. Taco Cat also has a new LP out called "This Mess Is a Place." We've already pre-ordered it. It won't be for a while till it's out. The LP is on Sub Pop, not Hardly Art, which is not an enormous difference because Hardly Art is owned by Sub Pop, but it's still yes.
It's still higher up.
It's still higher up in the food chain. Yes, I don't know what that means as far as their exposure in the entertainment world or becoming more mainstream or what have you, but it is higher up in the world. I mean, Taco Cat already, they don't play, they're not the opening band on $5 shows anymore, you know?
I remember when they were.
Yeah, I know.
Remember when they still had the time for West Seattle Fest? Cool for West Seattle Fest now?
Yes. Oh, also in Will Smith colorism controversies, people think his genie in the new live Aladdin is too blue. He just can't cut a break. Will Smith just can't cut a break anymore. Speaking of too blue, people think that Sonic movie looks terrible.
Look, okay, people were making fun of the fact they were like 2019, and it's a picture of the terrible looking Sonic the Hedgehog, and they're like 1999, and it's Stuart Little.
Yeah. Huh.
He looked good.
That was a good. Stuart Little, the animation was and still stands up.
Or the live action.
Yes.
The animation.
I am going on record as saying I am looking forward to and expecting good things from Detective Pikachu.
Oh, same. Everybody wants to see it.
That looks good.
People want Pikachu to say fuck. I was talking with my friends, they all want Pikachu to say fuck.
We've been watching lots of Facts of Life, and I'm going to play some Lisa Welchel. This is Love Believer. It's Ryan Reynolds playing Pikachu, so it would stand to reason that at least in the outtakes there's got to be a blooper reel, there's got to be a fuck in there somewhere. It's now been like a month. I don't really feel like talking about it. The Grammys. We played some Dua Lipa. She was nominated she won Best New Artist Grammy. Childish Gambino was nominated for 5 Grammys but didn't show up to the Grammys.
Oh my God, me too.
I think he won Best Music, Best Video. I'm sorry, Best Music, Best Music Video, Song of the Year, and Best Rap Performance and Record of the Year. But he did not win Best Album or Song. Other stuff happened in the Grammys too. Again, I don't talk about it.
Anyone who cares about the Grammys sucks. No, I'm kidding.
Right on. I mean, and they have been for a long time. Even, I mean, the relevancy of the Grammys has always been into question. Way back in the 80s when Deep Purple, who was like a 70s prog rock band, won Best Metal Performance over Metallica, people were like, no, they're completely out of touch. The Grammys mean nothing anymore. One of the problems with the Grammys is the way they structure their eligibility means that it's always going to be like 18 months out of date because like, so for instance, the 2019 Grammys held this February were voting for things that the last day of eligibility was the end of 2000. It's like, you know, it's like ridiculous. So they're so far behind that even if the artists that they represent are, they're just hopelessly out of date. And unless they change their rules and their voting structure, they probably always will.
It's his 80s music.
Yes, no, I know. Doesn't it feel like this is that we just watched the Musician Serenading Joe episode?